everybody, welcome to War and Pieces. Today we are going to be talking about the state of wargaming in 2020, what to expect from War and Pieces in 2020, and a little history with it, and some great sites that I think that can help you, especially in 2020 when I really feel that this is going to be a great year for wargaming. War and Pieces has been a segment that has been very near and dear to my heart, and it is something that has taken up about 33% of everything on this channel. We kind of do a little bit of everything. I paint, I also do dungeon crawls and other board games, but all in all, I'm a master of none, but love all three, and I try to bring that passion to you. And one of the things with War and Pieces that we've always tried to establish is reaching out to the beginner and just being warm and welcoming. Something that really needs to be done. And we'll talk about that later when we talk about the state of wargaming. War and Pieces is going to take up more of the channel this year. When I was cleaning, and I'm still cleaning out here, even though it doesn't look it behind me, you know, let's get the hanger off, you know, all right. What you're going to see is that as I was cleaning, I realized that 70% of my games are war games. Okay? Non-fiction, fiction, you know, whether it's science fiction or anything. My passion is wargaming, and it always has been since I was a young boy. From Tactics 1 and Tactics 2 to some of the Milton Bradley American series and some of the SPI stuff that my uncle decided to show me, who was a big war gamer, and that inspired me to be a war gamer as a young boy. I didn't really grasp a lot, but... And let's not forget the Avalon Hill games. Those bookcase games were just... what can you say? This is a segment that is very near and dear to my heart. And wargaming is very near and dear to my heart, and I love sharing with you. And for those of you that are new to it, I hope that you find it welcoming and inviting, so you can get a taste of what is such a beautiful, beautiful experience. Now, wargaming in 2020 couldn't have been better. Okay, there is more companies making such high quality products, and the passion that people are putting into it. The Mark Hermans, the Ted Raciers. How can we forget, you know, some of the great designers of the past as well that have helped bring us to this point. Richard Berg, God rest his soul, a truly great man. This is the year that you're just going to see so many things with the quality and the immersion. When you're able to put so much into the product now, and have these beautiful boards and maps, excuse me, and counters, and there's just so much in the production. The production is better than it's ever been. The art style, bringing immersion and pulling you in. I think that this is a breakout year for wargaming. People are always screaming, "Oh, wargaming is going to die. It's, you know, it's a small group of people." Well, to some degree, that's not necessarily a lie. All right, is it a niche type of thing? That's not necessarily a lie, but it's not necessarily a truth either. In a lot of ways, it is a very small hobby. It's an extension of an overall hobby, which is board gaming. The funny thing is that wargaming has been around, and of course everybody's been saying it's been dying for years and years and years. But it dates all the way back to the ancients. To H.G. Wells, who was a miniature war gamer, who was noted as being a historian and loved wargaming. And it has traveled through the ages. the 70s, the height and one of the strengths, the 60s and 70s. And it continues on today. And every time people say it's dead, it's not. What we need to do is understand what it is. All right, it is a smaller community, but it doesn't always have to be as small as we do. And people that tell you that it isn't, really think about this, and I'm going to explain why before everybody starts throwing their tweezers up in the air. It's very simple, okay? The most popular war game maybe has gotten, let's be generous, 50,000 views from last year. Let's just talk about 1 year. Our most popular YouTube personality maybe has 25,000 as far as straight wargaming, okay? And you know, that's even being generous, okay? A woman, a young girl, started a YouTube channel by just looking at as seen on TV things. Okay? She has close to 2.5 million followers. She did a video the other day where she took a bunch of hard-boiled eggs, put it in a contraption, added a little water, shook it, and within 30 seconds, all the peels off the hard-boiled eggs were there. That video did 4.6 million. Okay, as of today, I believe. Our best game got beat by an egg beater. So if you say we're not a small hobby, please. Even board gaming is a small hobby, and we're an extension of that. But that really comes to the point where I wanted to talk about how we go forward. Okay? This is going to be a fantastic year with so many great companies. When you talk about GMT, you talk about Lock and Load, Flying Pig Games, Worthington, Compass Games. All of them are raising their game. Look, I mean, look at the latest 1944 France, the designer edition. What a beautiful edition compared to the one from so many years ago. Things are changing. And the quality is even getting better. And it's starting to attract a crowd. But if we're not compassionate, kind, and welcoming, instead of what a lot of people are, which is being elitists, okay? You know, putting their nose up the things and not... And feeling that the hobby's theirs. It's kind of like an indie band, okay? You were the first one that saw them at all the bars, but the minute they hit any kind of popularity, all of a sudden you're up in arms. That's my band. Don't come near it. And then, you know, you're throwing your you're up in arms about it. It doesn't have to be that way. We should be warm and welcoming. And there are some fantastic channels out there. And there's a ton of fantastic channels that are that way. Okay, one guy I really want to point out is Counterproductive War Games. What a fantastic channel! The way he explains things and the passion that he has for wargaming, it's inspiring. It really is. And he's warm and welcoming and kind, and he doesn't talk down to people. He just explains things beautifully to people, and I admire him, and I love his channel. And I'm telling you, anybody that watches this, if you aren't subscribed, go over there and hit that subscribe button and take a look at his past catalog and what a fantastic job he's done. Truly inspiring and welcoming to the newer people. You see, the thing is here is that we have this new influx of people that are looking to be challenged, okay? Looking to be challenged. And when you get to a certain point, when you start off playing dexterity games and then you move up to you know, different types of dungeon crawls and stuff like that, and you want to challenge yourself more, and you go to these Euro games, well, there's only so much work replacement you can play or harvest so much corn and wheat. that eventually you want to be challenged even further. Those people that, they say they're intimidated by wargaming. Well, isn't Feast of Odin and The Colonist a very intimidating game and very huge? Rule books and things like that. And some of these Euro games are very, very, very complicated. But once they master that, they need something more. Well, they're looking at this. And we don't have to be intimidating. We can be welcoming and kind. You take a lot of the ASL groups, and I've seen throughout time how they have been so kind to people and welcoming to people. That's why ASL is still huge. Listen, you're always going to have those elitist and board game snobs. You're going to have war game snobs too. There's nothing you can do about that. But the main people, the people that are YouTube personalities or people at conventions, if you open your doors and are kind and compassionate and caring and take some of your time to show someone and make it not intimidating and make them see what the beauty of this is. Wargaming is a beautiful, beautiful hobby when you look at the history of it. And when these people finally see that, well, I'm not harvesting gold and wheat and things, but I'm actually learning about real life heroes. People that have sacrificed so much of it. And you learn what the true definition of a hero is. We use that term too loosely nowadays. Everybody's a hero. If you empty trash, you're a hero. Okay? The definition of a hero. Superman is not a hero, by the way. But that's a video for another time. A true definition of hero is facing insurmountable odds, yet you face it and overcome it. Okay? We have millions of heroes throughout this world. And to learn about some of the incredible things, I had one kid come up to me and goes, "Wow, are you telling me that this small group of individuals went and faced this incredible army and won somehow?" Yes, they did. And history tells so many stories like that. And they also tell so many stories of being overwhelmed yet still facing those incredible odds for a belief or whatever. Wargaming tells so many things. It just doesn't tell about history. There's also the science fiction and the wonderment of that aspect. There's so many fantastic games, Space Empires and things like that have come out through the ages. Starship Troopers, Avalon's Hills, great classic games. Wargaming is a beautiful and challenging experience, and if we take the time to welcome the new person in and make it less intimidating, we will be doing a great service. Because people like me are the next old guard. It's a funny thing, and I want to go a little further, is in the past I've gone to local conventions here, and you saw the same group of people. And they were very, I've seen times when kids have come in and wanted to either get into some of these beautiful tables with the miniatures or learn, some huge game that they may be playing, World at War or whatever. And I've seen people go, well, if you're not a master of this, then you're going to go find someplace else. You're pushing away the future. Okay? If we take the time and we invest in the youth or people that are already experienced board gamers that are looking for more of a challenge and open our doors, we'll grow. Will we ever be huge? No. We will always be a smaller part of the hobby, but we are a beautiful hobby with beautiful people. Okay? And I can talk about that same convention and tell you about the love and passion that they have for each other. One of their very own had passed away, and they set up a table to remember him by. Okay? And this is someone that was part of that group. And when they lose one of their own, it is heart-wrenching. And how they talk and about the stories and the experiences that they had playing games, and how much that wargaming means to them, as well as that person that has departed. There is love and compassion and caring in every person. But we don't have to be this elitist group. We don't have to be this eccentric thing. We have some of the most brilliant people in wargaming. We really do. When you look at Callendale, who, my God, what he forgot about wargaming, I know. Okay, that's about it. The man is incredible, and he tackles incredible projects and makes it where you want to watch it and understand his thought process. Cody, who's also a professor from the Discriminating Gamer, brilliant man, and makes things inviting. Marco, a professor, okay, and how he tells a story when he reviews a game beautifully. And how can we not forget a couple of guys that I really think never talk down to people, okay, and that's the Player's Aid. I had a chance, I've only met them once, and it was a couple of years, I think it was 3 years ago when I was early on in my thing, and I was blown away at the fact that they recognized who I was. And they were so kind and welcoming and warm. Okay, that's what we need in wargaming. Not only that, I started watching their channel. Unfortunately, at that time, I really didn't know too much about them. But, I went and I watched, and I've watched them grow and become what I consider the industry leader. And great at it, and they're fantastic, and they're wonderful people, and I hope to meet them again and talk with them. I would love to, because when I watch their videos and how they unbox things and they do things, they make it welcoming to everybody, whether you're experienced or you are somebody new to the hobby. And that's what we need. That's when I talk about compassion and caring. And there's so many. I don't want to forget a lot of people, but when I think about the chief, who also was at the Dice Tower, and when he left, he actually took over for Joe Stedman, and then myself after him for a very small stint. We had War and Pieces there before we brought it back over here to Rob's Tabletop World. And the wonderful job and how compassionate he is and how he reaches so many people. And there's just so many people, I couldn't even name them all. But we also have, I've also run into people at conventions that, have been very disappointing. And the fact that, there have been a couple where when I was introduced to them, I didn't know who they were, and made it seem like they were like these groundbreaking YouTube personalities, and I felt, oh my God, I don't know who this person is. And then, when I finally figured, somebody had told me, I go, well, who were those people? And then go look them up, and they get all cocky because they maybe have had 800 or 1,000 followers. That's not what we need. You should be welcoming and humble to everyone. Okay? I have 12, almost 12.5 people that subscribe, but I'm nobody. I'm not a YouTube personality. I'm just somebody that shares my time with certain people. And who knows if anybody will even watch this? I don't worry about that. I think the most important thing, and where this comes into the future, and some of the great people that we have in this hobby, is that if we all it doesn't matter who we are or what we do, it's how do we reach more? How do we bring the beauty of this fantastic experience to others? And not belittle people, not look down on people, and not try to be elitist. Okay? Or, hey, I've got a YouTube channel. Who cares? But can you reach somebody? Can you make a difference in somebody's life? Maybe there's a whole bunch of kids out there that you take, And I always talk about this analogy in board gaming as well. If you took 20 kids, okay, and you took the time out of your life to teach them something, 18 of them are not going to really care. One of them may play a couple times and say, yeah, I played in some war games. But that one, you're going to give that one the bug, okay? And who knows what that person's going to be that you may be responsible for helping or bringing into the hobby. Could that be the next Mark Herman? Could it be the next Richard Berg, Richard Borg, David Thompson, Herman Lutman? Okay, or all these wonderful people. There's so many fantastic designers. You look at David at Lock and Load and all the things that he's done. You look at all these fantastic and beautiful companies, and I don't mean to miss any designers or companies. Forgive me. I mean, I could sit here all day and just do a list and go through all of them and mention them all, and I still wouldn't be doing them justice. That's why I get so excited when I see games like Blitzkrieg, Battle Lines Medieval, Undaunted Normandy, David Thompson, who built this bridge, you know, where you took a war game and you made it kind of an abstract game. Boy, now that person wants to learn about Normandy. They want to learn about Barbarossa. They want to learn about the great struggles. They want to learn about antiquities and things like that. It's people that make it inviting, and then they get the bug and want to learn about history. All of us have had history. Nowadays, how much history do you think the newer kids are paying attention to? How much of this is new to them? You can make a difference. You can do it. And I plead out to all YouTube contributors to be compassionate and caring to all. Because you're all wonderful in your own way. It's not about who's the best or who's this. It's about us as a collective group in 2020 taking and bringing this beautiful experience to new people and welcoming in. Will we ever be the hugest thing? Again, no. But if we're warm, caring, compassionate, and welcoming, when it's our time to fade out into the old sunset, we'll know that we're leaving something fantastic and strong behind us, because the next generation will appreciate it, and they will pass it on to the next generation after that. And wargaming will live on and be fantastic. Be sure to subscribe to those channels I mentioned. Fantastic, and I believe the true leaders of our industry. Players Aid. Hey guys, if anybody, I know they won't see this, but if anybody gets and shoots a message to them, tell them I'll give them 2 War and Pieces shirts for 1 Player Aid shirt, so I can wear it while I'm taping here. They have some cool t-shirts, folks. I really like them. And they're a bunch of great guys. I'll never forget my experience with them, because they were just so warm and welcoming and kind. And we need more of that in this hobby. And counterproductive games. If you don't know about them, shame on you. Go over, subscribe. The Chief, Callendale, Marco, so many wonderful, wonderful, wonderful people out there. Go and experience them. And just war game, because it's for everyone, and it tells a beautiful and wonderful story. Until next time, where you're going to see a lot more War and Pieces, it's your old pal Rob saying